Hi people, Moin away from Bakir again as always and as usual. I'm briefly going to discuss a neutral topic. I'm not sure if the saying exists, but if it does, or either way, there is, or I think there is a saying called the greatest enemy of intelligence is pride. And usually pride, when applied to one's country, equals patriotism, obviously. Now, I'm here to discuss something specifically. It's essentially an extension of, bluntly put, stupidity. There are, for example, a good deal of people in the world that are proud of the countries they were born in, either live in, or come from. Just overall, by the by, as a whole. There is nothing wrong with that, but like so many other things, it needs to have a root in logic and reason. But I've met more than a few people in my life that love their home country, they love their country, but the second you ask them detailed questions, they can't really give you a profound reason, a reason that is rooted in logic and reason for why they love their country. You have people that, for example, come from horrible countries and yet they love their country. Makes no sense, you would think, because their countries are horrible, like the most worthless countries on the planet, bluntly put, or at least one of the most worthless countries on the planet. And yet they still love their country. And then when you ask them, okay, what do you love about it? What can be respected is if you acknowledge reality, especially when it comes to the negative, and you say, hey, listen, despite everything, all the negativity, I love it because it's all I know. It's home. I don't know anything else, and I simply feel comfortable here because it's all I know. It's all I've ever known. That can be respected because, again, it's based on logic and reason. But to essentially, for example, come from, bluntly put, a shithole. I'm not referring to myself, obviously. No. I'm literally just speaking in general. To come from a shithole, or to come from a country that is not doing all too well on the global scale, a country that has more than a few shortcomings, and then to desperately almost try to glorify that country like it is some kind of like it's some kind of superpower globally, or at the very least like it's one of the best countries in the world, is like trying to polish a turd and then pass it off as cotton candy, or bluntly put, trying to pass off shit as cotton candy. Like, that makes no sense. Shit is shit, end of story. Doesn't matter how much how many sprinkles you throw on it, it doesn't matter how much sugar you throw on it. Shit is shit, and it's always going to be shit, end of story. Okay, unless something else happens, something monumentally great happens that turns the shit into actual cotton candy, then yeah, eat up, yum yum yum. But in general, no, it makes no sense. And again, usually the biggest issue that these people have, or the main driving factor behind the so-called logic or ideology of these people, is their pride. They're proud by nature to the point where it blinds them to basic logic and reason. I'm like, really? That's just stupid. I mean, really, it makes no sense. I mean, I'm just listing examples here. For example, some people from India, people from some African countries, and it just goes on. These are just examples, okay? Like I said, literally just miscellaneous examples. You can be proud of, for example, India, but it has to be for the right reasons. Now, everyone in the world knows that factually, India isn't exactly one of the best countries on the planet. I'm not attacking India, I'm simply using India as an example. India does have nice places and does have more than a few things to be proud of. But when you compare the pros to the cons, obviously the cons, at the very least, considerably outweigh the pros. To the point where people aren't exactly jumping for joy thinking about a vacation to India, like any foreigner or similar, let alone living there. So any Indian can be proud of India, but it has to be rooted in just that logic and reason, as in, hey, this is why I love India, etc. But all the while not obviously pretending that all the negativity doesn't exist. Nah. The mere fact that so many Indians are trying to leave their home country speaks for itself. We all know what India is like. Every foreigner that doesn't live in India immediately has a basic stereotypical notion of India that we all know. The same thing goes for example, the absolute majority of countries in Africa. I'm not seeing people lining up in large queues at airports going to African countries on vacation because Africa is such an awesome continent and whatnot. My point exactly. That doesn't mean that an African can't be proud of his continent, regardless of what country he comes from, whether it's Zimbabwe, whether it's Namibia, whether it's Ghana, you name it. But again, if you do love your country, then it has to be for the right reasons, reasons that are rooted in logic and reason. But simply pretending that your country is an amazing, beautiful country by global standards and that it's one of the best countries in the world, and the reason for that, regardless of what the reason may be, but the main reason being that, oh, okay, I was always taught to be proud, I was taught to be this, I was taught to be that, or, I am just proud. That's just stupid. That doesn't only make you stupid, it makes you delusional. I'm sorry, stupid fucking, I don't know what the hell that just was. In any case, that doesn't just make you stupid, that makes you delusional. Like, really? See my point? In this context, delusion and pride go hand in hand. You can be as proud as you want, but it needs to be based on logic and reason. The pride needs to be based on logic and reason, period. And that's all. Bye bye.